Hey guys, welcome to Saaj Cars Tech. Sajan here with others. Happy New Year, happy holidays. We're kicking off season two with the new year, and I thought it would be perfect time to do a podcast. Just want to introduce others real quick. How's it going, others?
Hey, my name is Adarsh. Thanks for the introduction, Sajin. Happy New Year's to you. Uh, yeah, so brief background about me. I'm a third year optometry student studying at MCPHS University. And Sajin let me know about his podcast, and I found it really interesting. And I thought I could join in, given some of my inputs on some of the topics we wanted to discuss today.
All right, so let's talk real quick about New Year's, right?
Mm.
2020. Everyone's like, yeah, 2020 is going to be my year. All right. I said that myself, like in December 2019. I told my wife 2020 is going to be my year, and you see what happens, right? So what was your expectation of 2020? Obviously, no one expected a pandemic, but what was your expectations? What were your plans?
So yeah, going to 2020, just like a lot of people, a common thing is, I'm gonna hit the gym. I'm gonna work on my body. I wanna make a difference, you know. And funny enough, once I did get into the gym life, got about that workout life, got my protein shakes and whatnot, and I had my routine straight. COVID hit, and COVID didn't leave anything behind, including the gyms. In fact, gym was one of the most considered to be the hub for COVID transmission. And it definitely took a toll on my routine that I had and all the plans I had set out for it. So it did hit one of the vital parts for me to be physically healthy, because in a way, gym is an outlet for me to take breaks from my studying, and to get back into my studying. It's a way for me to get fresh, and having that being taken away, it definitely took a mental toll on me, and it definitely had impacts on my studying. So it had impact academically on me, and that I didn't like about that.
So, did you actually have any plans that you were able to accomplish? I know you're studying, and I know all the different colleges, universities had different accommodations. Did Were you able to accomplish any of the semesters that you were attending?
So I during the semesters that I attended, there was the facilities that were available for us at the campus, but they closed that down because of the risk of transmission, and the school didn't want to be, they wanted to protect the students. They didn't want that to be a route of transmission and that to cause further spread within the school. So it definitely did take a toll. I tried resorting to working out in my dorm, but that only worked for a short amount of time when I started to realize this is not the same amount of feel that I'm getting. It's not the same pump that I'm getting. So it didn't last that long.
No. Any positive or good feedback that you have for 2020?
For 2020, positive feedback, I would say, is a lot of people are really focusing on actually washing their hands. Like, they're actually thinking about being clean. There are not a lot of locations that we go, retail stores or any stores for that matter. A lot of people are now taking more caution into being clean. They're just not sweeping the floors for the fact of making it look visibly clean. It now actually has to be properly clean with proper chemicals. And this is the way of, like, if it's visibly clean and there is some sort of transmission of coronavirus through that whatever store, then that shows that they're making it look clean, but they're really not clean. So a lot of stores have had impacts like that, and it really goes to show that you can't just be superficially looking that you're taking precautions. You've got to actually be showing signs. You got to be proving it. Otherwise, coronavirus will show up, and people will be tracing it back to from wherever they thought they got transmitted from.
Yep. No, I really fully agree with you. I think one thing that I can reflect on for 2020 that I wasn't really expecting was the amount of appreciation for what I have around me, my family, what I have at the house, what I have just with me in general, right? Um like in 2019, every weekend I would be out somewhere. And in 2020, I wasn't out. I was at home, you know, and I got a lot of things done for the home, built a playground in the backyard, which you helped, did a lot of yard work, did little projects here and there. And it really helped me appreciate my home a bit more than actually ever that I've lived here. That's, I think the whole appreciative factor played a toll for everyone. It's not something that you get right away. It's something that you really appreciate. You always take something for granted until it's gone, right? So we were given away. We were given away we can't go outside, but we got to appreciate what we had inside.
What
So what about this 2021? What are your expectations?
my expectations for 2021. Just to build on what you said, like really appreciate who you have around you physically. Really build on the fact that the people that we have around us, they can be snatched away from us quite instantly, quite unknowingly, because you don't know what kind of what they're going through, where they're working, or what conditions they already have. So my looking into 2021, I really want to be more appreciative of everyone around us and really focus on the smaller stuff. A lot of people are focusing on their successes. They want to reach a certain level. They want to reach a certain position in life, at their job. Achieve a lot of I would say materialistic things, which is completely is right. Everyone's searching to be successful and everything like that. But it's also important to not to forget those people who were instrumental in allowing you to achieve that. Those people who, when you didn't have anything, those are the people you resorted to help you achieve those successes that you may be achieving now or who you have already achieved. So I feel like it's very important to really appreciate those around you who are always supporting you through the thick or thin, and most importantly through the thin, because at the end of the day, with the successes, it's not going to mean anything without those individuals who got you through the thin, because those are the people that are going to be keep pushing even through the successes. So I really think that valuing the people who are around you through the period of time where you're really struggling, where you really hit the rock bottom, those are the type of people you want to really value in 2021.
I totally agree. A lot of people's lives were cut short. There were too many lives that I know personally that were I could never imagine that their lives would be cut this short, and it was a real shocker. Do you have any plans for 2021 in terms of whether it's academically or a resolution or any sort of plan that you have?
Yeah, so like I said, I'm in third year of optometry. I only have a year left before I graduate, and now it's more of a now I'm able to spend more time of those with those around me, who helped me achieve where I am currently in third year. Med school or optometry school, for that matter, is not that easy, and every person along the way that you meet and talk to who give you positive influences when you're down, just don't know what you're doing and you're really confused. Just remembering that these people are the ones that get you through everything. I feel like it's really important for me to value individuals along the way, while taking time to also focusing on your goals to become successful. For me, graduating, getting that degree, and giving back to those individuals who really helped me get there is one of the things that I really want to give back to. Because usually it's just me and the books, just me and the books, just read, eat, sleep, and take the test and move on. But now I really want to give back to those who I'm socializing with, meeting with, giving back information and helping me out to be successful in my studies. I really want to give back to them and really appreciate them and spend time with them, because I feel like, once we hit that degree, we may move into different locations. Once we get a job, we may move into different locations. We may forget about those who were really important, as I said previously, to reach us to a point that we were before, we were trying to reach. So I feel like that's really important to me.
I feel you. I agree. There's a lot of things that 2021 can do for us, especially with all the change that happened in 2020. A lot of people's mindset have changed. A lot of people have had different thoughts of doing things. A lot of people have picked up good habits,
Yeah.
cleaning their hands, more often than usual. So it's a different, and as everyone has said it to me, it's a weird time right now. And I feel like, yeah, that weird is probably going to be the new normal. I'm not saying we're going to be wearing masks all the time. I'm saying, people are going to take hygiene a bit more seriously, which is which I've always thought was important. So I want to talk about cars real quick, because this is called Saaj Cars and Tech. So
Yeah.
I'll be, I'll be real. I'll try to stay quick on this. So I was driving my sister's car today. Okay, I was dropping off some food, and I noticed I started the car and I was driving, and her settings. This was her settings, right? She had her heated steering wheel on. Okay, let me, before all the listeners, she drives a brand new RAV4. Okay, so she had the heated steering wheel on, the heated seats on, and then her climate control was set to fan speed number 3 at 74 degrees. Okay, she has this auto function that she did not turn on. Usually, if it was on, then that means it would set, the once it reaches around 74, it would slow down. It would give you not hot air, it will give you, tempered air. So to me, I'm thinking there's a feature that she has and she's not using. All right. Now I'm thinking, how many other people have features in their vehicles that they're not using? Right? Because in my car, in my Volkswagen, I'm really anal about it. I need to have my climate control set to automatic. If someone comes in, sits in the driver's seat, and starts like turning it, I have it set on 75, and he wants to set it to like 78, then I will literally press sync and turn it to 78, so that way it matches. It's just the way that I am, right? It's the same thing with like heated seats. I don't always have them on, but I use them when I want to. Especially when I start the vehicle, and I use the cruise control. I try to use all the features that are given to me. You know, I've tried to use the sport mode a few times. It doesn't really do much, but it's there. Is there any features that you have had in a vehicle that you don't use?
Right. So currently, I'm driving the Hyundai Tucson 2016. It's a sport car, sport use SUV, for lack of better terms.
Sport
Speed.
utility vehicle.
There you
Yeah.
go. Yeah. So, like you mentioned, that sport function. For me, I can't. I don't know. I don't know how to use it. I have it there. I still haven't really bothered to look much into it. So for me, when I'm curious. I love sport cars. Okay, I've always wanted a sports car. So when I hear the word sport, I think of, hey, shifting gears and speeding up those high RPMs and getting me making that sound that I like to hear when I press down the gas pedal. But for me, when I'm like, hey, I'm driving from my dorm, where I live, to the school. I mean, for me, that function is absolutely, it doesn't make sense. But that being said, I'm willing to figure out exactly what that does for me.
So I'll tell you what it does. What it does is basically, if you put it in sport mode, it it changes gears at a higher rev, right? So rather than going from first to second, second to third at around 2 to 3,000 RPMs, you go whether 4 to 5,000 RPMs, and what that does is you have the acceleration for a longer period of time. So when you're between 1 to 2, when you have that fast acceleration, it feels a bit, as they would like to think, sporty. It doesn't do anything else. It doesn't do anything to your suspensions or anything to your exhaust or anything to the engine besides just change the time when it shifts. But there's like, for example, my father-in-law, right? He has same Toyota RAV4, right? He does the same thing. He doesn't use the climate control in auto. He always uses in manual mode, right? He always clicks, what the temperature he wants, and increases, decreases the fan speed, which to me is like, come on, like you have the auto, right? It automatically does it for you. Um, I had to teach him how to use the automatic high beam, which is nice. He likes that, but he didn't know how to use it when he had it, and he didn't want to use it because he didn't know how it worked. But there are some features that are on vehicles that I want to have, but I barely use. Right. So in my car, the Volkswagen, the sport feature does the same exact thing. Like I said, for the Hyundai, same exact thing. It just revs uh, at a higher rev when it changes gears. That's all it does, right? And it just feels a little bit faster just because of that little time of you're in that lower gear for a little bit more time. But I don't need that, but I still want that feature.
Right.
And I don't use it that much. I probably use it once in a blue moon, but I still want that feature.
Right. No, I can understand that. And it also depends on the model and the year of your car and who you're comparing it to. So if your generation of your car is older and you're noticing, and you've traveling with someone else's car who is probably 2020, you're gonna realize these features like, hey, you have all these features and you don't know how to use them.
Well, there's another one, right?
Go for it.
So in my Volkswagen, I have a CD player.
Hey.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've never put a CD in that thing.
Yeah.
But I'm still glad I have the CD player. And the RAV4, and my sister's RAV4, my father-in-law's RAV4, there's no CD player.
Right.
And it doesn't bother me though that there isn't a CD player. But in my car, I've never used a CD player, but I'm glad it's there. It's like, oh, just in case I want to listen to a CD.
100%. That's exactly like my dad. I mean, his current driver is 2003 Toyota Corolla CE. So it's one of those old.
Yeah, that 2003. That's like, it's gonna last for another 15 years.
So yeah, exactly, and it's still running, right? That's the crazy part. Actually, not that crazy. You would think it's Toyota. It's reliable. It's got that. But getting back to the point on that CD player, my dad at that time, he converted all of his cassettes into CDs because that was the thing back in the day, CD players. And now he's struggling to find that in his new, relatively newer Sienna. That how is he supposed to take all those CDs and put into an MP3 player? So it's not impossible. He's asking me ways to do it, but you could see it's a lot of learning and adapting that you got to do. Now he's taking those CDs and he's putting his computer and uploading that into an MP3 player or onto his phone so that now he could listen to it via Bluetooth. But it just goes to show that some people who don't have the facilities to convert or putting onto an MP3, they do value the use of the CD player.
Yeah. So for the longest time, my father would come to me, and even when we, for every vehicle that we have, every time we buy one, it's like, hey, do they still make cars with cassette players? And I said, for the cars that we're looking for, no. And even if for the cars that we're probably not looking for, I don't think so. It's some people are stuck with the technology that they're used to. They don't want to change, but it's kind of like that. We in the Sienna that we have like security functions and all that. And do we use them? Not really. I don't even know if they work.
Right.
It's there.
Is there?
Yeah. But Anyway, we're kind of ending towards this podcast here. So the listeners, I want to ask you: do you have a feature in your car that you don't use? And do you have a feature in your car that you don't use, but you're still glad that it's there and you still want it in the car? If you do, please reach out to us. I wanna know your answers. I'll probably post this as a Instagram story. So hopefully you guys see that. Thank you for listening. We're gonna try to stay a bit more consistent on episodes here. Thank you, others, for joining me on the podcast.
Thank you, Sajin, for inviting me.
All right, thank you guys.